gonna push a button. Yeah, it's all right. We've gone live, which is great. But we've gone live in a very sort of kind of relaxed kind of way. Um, yeah. Well, well. As I should do the formal introduction before we sort of descend into chaos. Welcome to the First Stage Entertainment channel. My name is Graham Spearing, and I will be your your eternal knight, your night lord, edge lord. I don't know. This evening, where we're going to play our second episode of the Eternal Night of Lockwood using Zweihander Reforged, which is not quite the new version of Zweihander now, but it's available in the links in the show notes below. So if you're interested in the game, we're just having a go at the game. We're going to work it out. We're going to go steadily through how it plays, and we have a situation which we're picking up from last time. So if you want to see last time somewhere on the channel, I will put it into a playlist so you can find it easier. But here we are. So, and we're going to be doing some cool ceremony stuff to begin with, to work out what people's experience points are, things like that, and then work out how many fortune we've got, which I think is part of the initial tracking that happens at the beginning of a session. So we're going to play the ceremonies as well. But for now, let's just have a quick recap of who is here, who we are, and who you're playing. And I'll take you in the order that I've got you in YouTube and on my screen. If I could turn first of all to Ingolf, tell us who you're playing. Oh gosh, well we'll all have to remember that in a minute. I'll come to that next. James, tell us about who you are. Doesn't she? Well, not yet. Thank you. Lovely. Thanks, James. Marcel, do you want to tell us about your whoever you are? Hooray for Foundry. Push to talk. That is a gotcha. We will spend some time with that. It's been a fortnight, and I can't remember what I did yesterday, so that's kind of fine. Thank you, Marcel. Finally, or as Kevin would say, last but definitely not least, Sean, tell us about yourself and your character. I have a feeling you are right. Okay, let's just recap, and I'll give you a quick rundown of where we have got to. This adventure is called Rufus is Missing. So that's your big clue. But essentially, we are in Lockwood. Now, Lockwood, you may not know, and our viewers probably won't know, is a northern province in the far northern mountains of Palar, sprawling Kalish kingdom. Often forgotten, it has forestry, mining, and a river that runs through it, and trade runs south from the central hub of this province called Ertol, for which you can see a scene at the moment, as we're going to play that out in, well, the Eternal Night, because 5 days ago, eternal perhaps sounds a little bit too long. I'm sure this lot will sort it out in a couple of weeks, but one autumn's afternoon, the sun was shrouded and never recovered. And it has caused, as you might imagine, panic, concern amongst the sort of hardy provincial people of Lockwood. And yet, as the sun rises, they hoped the following day it did not. And it remains dark, and it is a strange sort of darkness that seems to make light sputter. And even when you try to create some light, it's as if the darkness doesn't really want it. And you can imagine, if you can imagine, 5 days or so after that, it's pretty bad news. We spent some time last time sort of just establishing ourselves and establishing a friend of yours, who I will pop up onto screen if I can find them, Isla. I'll go back to we got a large cast here, so Isla is but one of them. But Isla's an old friend, and here she is. And she's not. Let's just put her onto screen. She's not had a good day, but then not many people have. So Isla has, amongst other things, been effectively mugged in the streets of Ertol, and has lost her dog. A dog that actually is something of a friend to all the players as well. She works at Big Corey's pub. You met Big Corey, and that's in Bargetown. I will take us back to Ertol, maybe quite soon, so people can see the town in more detail. Beloved dog, simply gone, and she asked for your help, and you very kindly said that you would help, and you have gone off to find out what exactly has happened. She will have told you that she was walking by Alamine's parlour. Now, Alamine's parlour is which is where we are now, which is where I've seen. This is an alley at the back of Alamine's parlour. Alamine's parlour, a gambling hall across from the docks. And you've basically, there's an alley full of garbage that Rufus likes to smell, and sure enough, that's where you found yourself, and what looks to be to the back door of Alamine's parlour, which you did have a look at and met, a very noisy and barely comprehensible chef, you think, who sort of waved his cleaver and suggested that you find the front door. And that's about as far as really we've got. She knows that she was mugged. She knows that the dog was probably taken by the muggers, which was a very odd thing. She herself was just left sprawled on the floor. And she wasn't robbed. It's as if what they actually wanted was the dog, which it seems to be a slightly extreme way of going about things. Anyway, that's kind of where we left it. And here we are in an alley, the back of Alamine's parlour, with the four of you there by what is the back door to Alamine's parlour, when got you. Let's have a little look. It will be. Did you write it actually in Foundry? Yeah. Let's just see. Do you know where you put it? Just having a. I wasn't. My apologies. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, no. If you thought you did, you almost certainly did. I'm in journal. Okay. I can't see it in either. A journal would be a great idea. I hope. I'm sorry if you've lost that text. Let me just add a journal item into. Let's put it into Lockwood, and I'll add a journal item called PC Journal. I'm going to create that, and I am going to open that up to all of you as owner, which I've done now. And that might be a permission. It might be a permissions thing from me, actually. It might be that I haven't permitted self-creation of journal items or something, because it can be a bit like that. Not to worry. Sure. Okay. So it's the beginning of our session. And I think at the end of the session, you should get experience points or reward points, as they're called in this game. So let's do that now. You get. I'm just trying to find the place that does it. How gameplay works. There are some things that you get. So you get one reward point for turning up. So well done, you get a reward point. Now, where to put that in your sheet is entirely up to you. I suggest there is a reward points thing on your sheet at the front. I think I would ignore that for now, because it's, yeah, oh yeah, you could try it. If it works for you, it works for you. I think it's set up for first edition of the game, and therefore that did seem to do reward points differently. This is a much more cut down system. There's a much smaller number that you have to fiddle around with. But take a note that you've got at least one. Did you call upon one of your tragic flaws? And did you call upon one of your inner strengths? Now, for people watching, sorry, what? So I'm looking at currently on page 19 of the rule book, which runs through the sort of starting session rituals. Now, your tragic flaws and inner strengths came from the fact that you're a survivor. Remember, you're not heroes, you're survivors. You managed to survive a brush with death, and that gave you a tragic flaw and an inner strength. And I think the way the game is set up is it wants you to kind of draw on those experiences and evidence those flaws and strengths in play. That's clearly what it's designed to do, because it's rewarding you with these reward points. So if you want to take a look, probably in your notes section, which is where it will be, where your tragic flaw and inner strengths are listed there. Now, I think they're just text, a bit of text, a bit of flavor text. So evidencing that you've called on them specifically is kind of down to you. I'm happy for you, and you may not, because we forgot to do it. Maybe you haven't specifically thought, right, this session I must call on my inner strength, I must call on my tragic flaw. In which case, if you haven't, that's fine. But that's what it's looking for. That's entirely up to you. So I reckon you've all got one reward point if you can evidence that you've specifically called on something. then you gain one reward point for each of those as well. So there's a maximum of, is it 5? Sorry, it's 5. It's 5. My apology. It is. It's 5 per. I'm doing it again. I mean, you are lucky that we're doing this at all, Sean. So just hardcore OSR rocks. So, but it is important. You have to bear in mind that for your profession, I think the number is 10. 10 is the number of the counting, and the number of the counting shall be 10. When you've got 10 reward points, you can spend 10, and that buys you one of the things in your profession. So keep that in mind, and that can be any of the things that you haven't yet got in your profession, and that it might be. So you're on the basic tier. So it will be things like attribute bonuses, possibly a talent. Tucked away at the back of your profession, you get plus 5% on one of your attributes, is one of the things that you can buy for your 10. That's roughly it. I think that's roughly it. You can tell when you look at your trappings. So when you get to 10, you spend them. When you note in your character that you've spent them, just note how many you've got altogether and how many you've actually spent. And that just gives us a feel for how many you've got to spend left. So note somewhere you're 5 or 10 or 15, but certainly you're 5. Now, it does... Oh, okay, they're actually there, which is quite useful. That's excellent. Now it does say all players roll initiative, which I'm going to ignore that one because we are going to do initiative now anyway in a minute. But the idea is that you there is like an always on initiative system. So each player rolls your initiative to start the game, and then that's what we use for the initiative ladder throughout the game. There's like one always on initiative. So we can do that, but let's do that when we come to the scene in a moment. The other thing is to set fortune and misfortune, which is reset every session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do that here. I've got no idea how to do this. So I'm going to get rid of all of it there. Now, that means you all have to do a D6. So no, you're not rolling for weather. You're rolling for fortune and misfortune points. So I'm going to have a little look at what you get. So I will take a D6 from you now. I'm now looking at the chat and seeing your message. Thank you, Golf. Didn't see it. Roll me a D6, everyone, please. And then we will do what we're told. Dice everywhere. So, Ulrich, you got a 3. So that gives 1 fortune point to you, which is very nice. Yala, you got a 1. That gives you another 1. Oops. That's another 1. 5, that's another 1. And 2, that's another 1. And I think the idea is if you roll a 6, you put 1 misfortune coin into the bowl for the GM. I now get 1 free misfortune point at the start of the game. So that sets our fortune and misfortune coinage for the session. And that concludes the rituals, that as well as saying what happened last time, which I gave you. We'll have a journal next time, maybe. We'll probably remember. Right, so let's go to our scene. We're all fortuned up. You turn, and there is a group of 4 knaves who have called you out. they have cudgels, and they look as if they want to do you some damage. And they just said, "Dear, oh dear, you shouldn't have come here. You should not have come here." You can see them starting to sort of make their way forward carefully, eyeing you up, looking for an opening. At that moment, we roll for initiative. And I'll try and work out how to do that, or perhaps you can. Let's have a look. Let's grab all our... I'm going to grab all the tokens. I'm going to place you into the combat tracker. So you can see in the combat tracker on the right-hand side, everyone is now in there. Oh, that's quite cool, actually. Let me just try that as a little... There we go. Look at that. Look at that. And people are starting to roll their initiative. You can just click on your thing. I'm going to click on my guys. Oh, I clicked on somebody by mistake. Oh, gracious me. So there's dice everywhere. Or you've gone crazy. Now, I'm going to pop this over in the corner. That's nice, Sean. Thank you for that. That's useful. So we go in initiative order, old school. You've got 3 action points, remember? So you can do 3 things on your turn, which is nice. If you are wanting to keep an action point back for a defend, we are using the optional defend rule in the game. It was a core part of revised. It's a very, very optional part of Reforged, which I'm keeping. Then you can do that, but that means you've got to hold back an action point. And an action point you can see on the rules section, which is up in the journal. It lists out all the things you can do. It's the usual stuff: move, attack, stand around wibbling. It's kind of up to you. But in fact, I'm going to turn to Ulrich first. Ulrich, you have the initiative. You have three actions that you can undertake. Just for the benefit of people watching, I'm going to call up your character, Ulrich Tegenhoft. Put him in the middle. There he is. Over to you, Marcel. What do you want to do? They're kind of closing in on you a little bit. Okay, you've done that. It's a good start. You can do that thing. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Let me just. Is there a thing to say not started? Begin encounter. Right, I've done that. All right, you're off. It's now very obvious it's you. My goodness, look at this. Keep pushing that button, Marcel. Keep pushing that button. Wow. Okay. It's just that's what it's like. Mind you, that's what it's like in the back alleys of Ertal. You're not a hero. I'm about to prove that you're not a hero. Okay. Right. So the dark alley. This group of knaves look pretty worrying. They have got. Yes, you can make your attack. Thank you. It's flip to fail a resolve test. So in this darkness, I'm going to have to ask you all, I'm afraid, just as we get. I mean, this is not going to affect it. Ulrich's attack. You all need to make a resolve test, which is one of your skills. And you have to flip to fail, which will be an option on the when you click on it. Hopefully it'll have a thing that says flip to fail. Let's just see what happens. And if you fail that, it's possible you might fail it. Okay, you are stressed. Which I don't know. Oh, it's a real shame. Okay, let's take a little look. So it's not a condition, I don't think. That's interesting. I think so. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Click the button. Let's play it that way. See what happens. And it will work out if your stress level goes over your peril tracker, your peril threshold. And if it gets over your peril threshold, you will drop down a peril level. Ah, okay. All right. It's on your attributes, your main tab. Mid right. Okay. So the way the game works on damage is you've got two thresholds for physical damage and stress and fear and peril. If the damage is less than the threshold, you do not suffer. You do not drop down one in the ladder, which you don't want to do. If it's higher, you see which level it's higher, and you drop down that number on the ladder. Okay. Hopefully you've all managed to do that. Clicks on things. Yes, apparently. Well, perhaps you're heroes after all. I don't know. Maybe. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Did they? Oh, somebody's keeping a track of. Okay. Meanwhile, the fiendish GM tucks into some ice cream. Okay, let's resolve Ulrich's. Anyway, let's resolve Ulrich's attack. So, there's a success from Ulrich on the willpower. Okay. In all that stuff, I'm going to work back up. There you go, Ulrich. Success on your attack. I see Ulrich up there. Now, what you can do, which you probably haven't done on this occasion because it's the first time we're doing it, but what you can do is you can target the target of your attack. So all you do is you click on the token of your target and you go up to the top left and there's a little targety symbol in the top left. And oh, is it? Thank you. Sure. Okay, that's awesome. Having targeted the person now, Marcel, brilliant. You can now click on, can you see in amongst your success in the chat, there's a bit below the success says damage. Yeah, you've done it. Excellent. And that did something. So you did 10 damage, which you can choose if you wish to explode that. So the threshold, oh, 12 damage. That damages your opponent. Your opponent is now lightly wounded because it's over their damage threshold, which is 7, but it's less than their second damage threshold, which is 13. It's only just less than that. So it's only 1 down the ladder. 2 down the ladder would be moderately wounded, but I'm going to click that as lightly wounded. So that character is now lightly wounded. I've recorded that. A cry of consternation. Really? Oh, you're failing up. I can feel it now. Terrible. Okay. Horror is provoked. You've done 2 actions. Ulrich, you do have the option of a third. You can save it for defense if you wish, yeah. Okay. If you've got like 3 beads or dice or cubes of ice cream, in my case, then you maybe want to sort of use them to, just keep track of how many action points you got left. Goodness knows how I'm going to do it. Because I'm eating mine right now. Right. Okay. Next. Fial. I'm going to pass the conch to Fial. There you go. Rufus. Okay. Okay. Wow. Does that give him some extra oomph? Ouch. Okay. I don't think we've got a charge button, so we'll do that after the fact. You absolutely would do that. So it then knows what the damage is for the thing. It knows. No. I don't think so. That's it. That feels good. I'm not going to parry. Yeah. And this is the one that called you out. The one in the middle is the one that called you out. You do indeed. So it needs to be just like a manual roll, I think. I think that might explode, I'm going to say it explodes. So that's another D6, please. Yeah. Oh, come on! No, stop it. That's. I think that explodes. I think it keeps exploding. Okay. Note the floor. More XP or RP. Oh, okay. That's 22 points of damage. That's the way this game works. It's like, please say you get the 6. So 22. I look at his is threshold. That's 1, 2. It's not quite all of them, but it is 3 levels down the ladder, which takes them down 1, 2, seriously wounded. It's just he was busy pointing at you when he suddenly saw you arrive. They're not going to like that. For those looking at home, one of the things I do like, one of the many things I like about this module is that when you're seriously wounded, your character sheet, when you open it, is spattered with blood. It's like, which, let's hope it never happens to you, but it's happened to him, which is quite nice. Anyway, so he's in a bit of a mess. And you have one more. Oh no, that's right. That's 2 for charge, 1 for the attack. Is that right? Or that charge includes the attack? Yeah. Let's just check that. This is our. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's right. It does. You're right. It's a move that if you attack at the end, you get the benefit of that, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Thank you. Right. Next, Robin. Oh, that's right. So players decide. Can she see? Okay. Can she see? I mean, can they see down the alley the sort of, I don't know, the sort of, maybe not French absurdist, but maybe the sort of nihilistic stare of her dead eyes. She. Okay. No. Apparently, you double right click. That works. Now, have you drawn your pistol then? Okay. Yeah, it's unmodified by any, unless you've got a thing. My goodness, that's fine. So I think you can click on the damage thing there, and it will do the damage thing. Theoretically, it should do the damage thing to the target. But if it doesn't, I'll do it. Oh, how disappointing. Oh, that is disappointing. 8. It is a bit rubbish. I don't. So, just learning the game here, I don't see it actually applying the damage to the threshold and then applying it to the. So I'll do it manually. Oh yes, sorry, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, you could try it. You could certainly do it. You could click on Explode with Fortune. I'm getting a lot of misfortune here, which I need to spend actually. It's right there on the damage, underneath the damage. Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. No, it's there. So you lightly wound the character, which I've now noted on that character. Uh, yeah, he's got a slightly shredded left arm, which he sort of looks at in sort of fear and surprise as you're perhaps better armed than they were expecting, and you've got black powder weapons, which they weren't expecting. Let me pop back to Robin then. But nice. Let me call up the rules. Might actually help. These are our actions here. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got you. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's an action point to do that. Roll me your guile test. And I need to roll as well to try and resist it. Now, I have checked that this is not an opposed test because it doesn't say opposed. It's just a straight test. So if you succeed and I succeed, nothing happens. Yeah. Yeah. If we both fail, nothing happens. If you succeed and I fail, you succeed. And apparently the game is very specific about what is an opposed test, and this isn't one of them. And I was right. I was quite surprised about that. But right, which means you critically disarm the person. Well, let's just see what happens. Let's see if you. So it's a success, but not a critical success. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. My apologies. Right. So if you succeed, you're treated critical. And if it's a critical success, I cannot resist. Let me roll it. That's incredibly unlikely. In fact, he doesn't even succeed. What do you do to disarm him? He's got a cudgel. Okay. Well, he's now disarmed and injured, which is not great. Well, thank you for that. Well, no. Okay. Well, I think. What, he's not looking very happy. When he's injured, he's got a runic warrior sat with a big weapon in front of him, and now he hasn't got his cudgel anymore. So I think the sensible thing for him to do will be to kind of like run away, or at least, yeah, it's gonna maneuver, which is 2 action points. A maneuver is that you can go to a place close, it says. So that's basically going to be within a move, without opening up an opportunity attack. So he's going to maneuver, which is 2 of his action points, and that's actually going to just take him to literally there. So he basically retreats. Because he's done a maneuver, it doesn't open him up for an attack. If you're struggling with your action points, you can just make a move, and it will open you up for an opportunity attack, and that's bad news. He can't retreat because he's also running out of road by the look of it. But he can move, and he's actually going to come down to here. What he's doing is he's sort of hiding behind the other people and trying to get out of the way. That is his action, which is not particularly impressive. No, because he spent basically all his action points to maneuver away. And if you do the maneuver action, unless there's something that trounces it, like you've got like a special thing that means you always get an opportunity attack. Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. So he's basically got out of the way, but he's not got far enough away. It's going to be his problem. However, let's have a look. I think this one's going to come to here, and it's going to attack Fjall. With his club. I'm glad he misses, but I'm going to re-roll. I've given you back a fortune coin to do that, and I succeed. I succeed. So he does. Oh, yes. Do it, spend it. He gives it back to me. In which case you can make a defense roll. Tricky though, because he's got a 16. But if you get over 16 and a success, you parry. Just do the axe. Oh, maybe the parry button. Yeah. Go for it. See what it does. Oh! Made a noise. Now, incredibly, you succeed, but you're actually lower than his attack. So his attack is still a success because it's blackjack. It's an opposed roll. I don't know if you can you spend a fortune point to flip to succeed or something? Editor show gain an action point, reduce damage or peril, re-roll a skill test. You could re-roll that skill test if you wanted to spend another point, if you're desperate not to hit. No. It's because in Zweihander for some reason the parry is an opposed test and it's blackjack. So it is. Yeah. I know. Okay. Reroll. It might have done. It might have done actually. Let's just check that. I don't. Oh yes, it did. It did. It gave me another one. Let me just. No, hang on. That's it. Yeah, I've got it. Got it. Okay, it's a miss. So, despite everything, despite your best efforts, he does in fact twonk you one. Uh, uh, let's have a quick check of that. So they've. Let's just double check that there's nothing that prevents fight scenes. Okay. There's the actions. Pick any action. Roll damage. Charge. Retreat. There is opening up. I think in revised, you'll have found that there will have been a list of modifiers based on positioning. I don't see very much here that has got anything. I'm looking around about page 243 and above, and I can't see anything for now, so I'm going to say no. And that might be a change from the first version of the game. I have not successfully targeted you properly though, so I'm going to roll one. I'm going to roll it in chat. Now, is it X plus that apparently? Does that work? No. Well, I'll roll the d6. I'm going to roll 1d6 plus 7. And if the 6 is on a 6, it explodes. I'll roll some more. It fails to explode. I do 8 points of damage to you. So you check your wound threshold and see what that comes up to. It probably doesn't even hit it. It's miles off. It goes, hits you squarely in the back for no effect. Yep. Completely rubbish. That was that. This guy here he's desperate. He's a bit. Oh, he's in a bad way. But he's going to swing wildly at you. So I'm going to target you, and then I'm going to make an attack. It's true. Exactly. Yeah. It's in there in the action economy. Does manage to hit you, actually. And I'm going to try a damage on here to see if it does something to you. So that's 10. So ideally, on your character sheet, nothing will have moved. Nothing has moved. So that's correct. So a flailing attempt from this severely wounded knave, but fails. And so, I think just to mix things up, and because she deserves it, I'm going to target Lizzie, and I am going to attack Lizzie with a cudgel. And she's going to. This knave is trying to make things happen. Get it to work. Oh, it's that one there, isn't it? Go. Roll. Complete and utter failure. Very good. Ulrich, we're back to you. You're there, Marcel. Oh, there you go. You've appeared like magic. You have at the beginning of the turn, you'll get your 3 action points back. You've got 3 action points. Off you go. You can. Yep. No problem. He sort of cowers slightly, thinking he got out of the way, and realizes he really hasn't got out of the way. So you can target and you can make an attack. Oh, that is a success. But not much in the way of damage. You can spend a fortune point if you wish. Mind you, I can spend a fortune point thinking about it. Yeah. Oh, is it vicious? Yeah. Yeah, so weaken is an option instead of damaging, I think. Yeah, it's a 2 action point attack. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry, I was looking away and suddenly things happened. 13. So 13 damage. Just have a little look at that. I've got the feeling that is on 2. Seriously wounded, Ulrich. So your blow this time smashes aside the flailing cudgel, and there's another seriously wounded knave who is now essentially trying to work out how to get away. You can probably tell that that's what he's trying to do. Okay. Do you want to do anything else? So you've moved and you've attacked. You've probably got. Are you keeping that one back, or in which case we will go? We will turn to Fjall. Okay, it's still there and it's still targeted by the look of it. No, adaptable. Right, so vicious is something else then. Okay. Nice. 10. That beats its threshold. It's now grievously wounded. Let's just check what that actually means. Because let's have a look. Combat, fight scenes, suffering peril, suffering injuries. Yeah, if you suffer damage again while dying, it's okay. I'm not dying yet. Grievously wounded. My clothing is soiled in blood and sweat. The way it looks to me, when you suffer damage, goes down the thresholds, and that's it. It's only at dying. So this character is one off dying, so it just requires another hit to take it down, and it will go down. But he's grievously wounded, and he's trying to back off. What are you doing? It doesn't look to you like he's going to attack you, so you've still got, I think, an action point also left. Okay. Okay. Oh, no worries. Yeah. Yeah. Um. Oh. Oh. Let's go up. Let's go up to the history. I did. Oh, I rolled it, didn't I? I rolled it in the chat as a straight roll. Yeah. I think it was an 8 and a 10. In which case you are down two levels on the track. You have deep bruises, cuts, or lesions. It says. That's it. It has no effect on play whatsoever. Okay, so injuries, at least in this version of the game, come in when you are dying, which is the final level. It is, yeah. It's quite nice. It's got some lovely bits in it. No, no. It's just noting you're getting beaten up, really, slightly. Okay, okay. Robin, did you attack? You attacked, didn't you? Oh, okay. In which case, please do. Yeah. You could attack again. You did go, didn't you? But there was just, but the, yep. No, you've got 3, so you can attack twice. Yeah, yeah. Do it again. Good. Yeah, and he's not going to defend. So he's trying to run away, which you're not very rich in coins at the moment. Okay. Yeah, it's quite nice. There's lots of choices you've got. That's a swing and a miss. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Don't know. It would. We're testing the system out here, people. We're testing the system out. Okay. Excellent. You have indeed missed, which is very pleased about. Haha. Uh, is oh no, you haven't got enough action points, have you? Right. Lizzie. Okay. That's pretty successful. He's going to save his actions, but I am going to spend a point. So you can roll your damage. And I'm going to... What does that do? If I click on that, does it... Yes, it gives it back. And I'm going to spend a misfortune point, and I'm going to roll a d10. And I reduce your damage by 6. So you did 7. I roll a 6. You do 1 point of damage. It does not go by threshold. It just slips, rips up a bit of his jerkin, and he's happy. Are you doing anything else? Okay. In which case, we're down to the knaves. I'm going to suggest it works like this. Ulrich, you are going to get an attack of opportunity. This knave is looking to run, is heading off in that direction down the alley, but you have the opportunity to, well, yeah, you get an opportunity attack should you wish to undertake it. So you'd be about here, and you do wish to take it, but you look to have missed. No, you're flipping to succeed or something. I don't know what happened there, but that's 9. Which is a wound. It's a grievous wound. He's now spattered in blood. He's now grievously wounded. He's got 1 left, and he'll probably go down. 1 hit left, he'll probably go down. However, he does manage to stagger out of... He basically runs off. You taking a slice out of him on the way. Unless you're desperate to finish him, in which case you'd need to spend a fortune coin and roll an extra d6 probably. But I'm going to say not. Looks like looks like he's gone. That's 1. 2. This one here. Well, I think what happens is he's trying to run as well. So he's going to kind of do a maneuver and a move, but unfortunately he can't get past Ulrich. Now, opportunity attacks, are they extras? Are they freebies? Or are they actually action pointable? I think it's an AP situation. Got it. So, exactly, you could spend a coin and that will give you an AP to do an opportunity attack. And indeed, that's what you do. Marcel's the quiet assassin here. Just finish it. Make a roll. Target him if you can or if you want to. But, oh, come on. Critical success. I'm looking forward to seeing what this does. Hey, what does a critical success mean in the game, though? That looks better. Right. Okay. That's correct. So first of all, the thing to note is it's the first time wounded takes a light wound from your blow because it's an 8. I was hoping the critical might like. Okay. Yeah. That is quite nice. They do, don't they? So a critical success, you add 1d6 damage. So you can add a further d6, Marcel, to your damage. And you can roll that. Oh, right. Oh, that's 16. So it's 16 overall. So I said it was 1. It's not 1. It's 2 levels of damage. So in fact, is moderately wounded. And did you say that you suffer peril as well? Here we go. Suffering injuries. No, creatures are dying. Suffering peril. Maybe when you're dying, you get that. Don't see it. Basically, it's more damage by the look of it. Yeah. Okay. Moderately wounded. You can keep looking for it, Ingolf, though. That's fine. If it's there, it's there. We're happy to do that. So running away, and finally, that's where are we now? This one is in a real state. Shellen sort of spits at you, and is going to try to run away. I think it is going to provoke an opportunity attack from you, though, Fjall. If you want to, if you've got the point, well, there's no coins. You can't. Stunning. Exhausted as, and he's the one that called you out, so he's running off, and he avoids, or he manages to actually avoid Ulrich. Nobody else is going to avoid him. Similarly here, he can sense everyone is doing a runner, so he's essentially trying to do a runner, and he's heading off in kind of sort of this direction. But you will get an opportunity attack before he goes if you've got the points. In which case you could spend that on an opportunity attack rather than defend. Okay, do that. Yeah, and he's still targeted, so that's fine. Let's see what happens. It's hiding. Is it the dice thing? Right. No, it's all right. Ooh. success and do your damage. Damp squib, indeed. That's 7. That is up to his first wound threshold, but in a desperate attempt to keep things going, I'm now going to roll my d10. Now, the interesting thing about this, and that's come up a 9, so he's not imaged. He's not imaged. He's not even hurt either. So he, again, your knife just sort of slices into bits of clothing as he runs away desperately. And I think overall, that's kind of where we're going to draw a veil at the end of this scene. They're basically heading away, and they will sort of probably just about avoid Ulrich, who's almost acting as like a stalwart at the back there to try and sort of prevent them running. But they basically get away. They might have the odd extra cut as they run away, but they're heading off thoroughly injured. There endeth the encounter. So, quick reflection on Zweihander combat. That's our first go. It's very quick. The way the game plays is they haven't kept the parry. They've suggested if you put the parry back in for one action point, parries and dodges, that you remove the coin spend for 1d10 off damage. That you don't have that as well. I've left it in. We'll see how that plays out. If we find that people being able to parry and spend coins to reduce damage is too much, then we'll perhaps take that bit out of the coins. But let's just leave it in for now. Anyway, scene over. You depart. They depart in haste. Drips of blood pouring from some of them as they've been significantly hurt by your attacks. Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, interesting. Right. Ah. So even if you okay. Right. So the way peril works in the game is if you go down the peril track, it materially affects your percentage chance to do anything. It's a minus to your skills. With the damage track, at least the way I think it works here, is it has no effect on you other than you're getting towards that dying condition, which basically knocks you out completely. Okay. Right, yeah. So that's how damage works. It's all threshold based. Okay, well, we got through that. Well done, and it'll get quicker. It seems like a lot. It's quite tactical. I have to say, the way Zweihander works as well is it's fairly zonal. So there's close and there's near and there's far sort of thing. So it doesn't go into immense detail. I'm dropping onto the grid, so we're going to use some tactical and AP movement, but it's entirely up to you, really. Awesome. So you're in an alley and it's all gone quiet. All you can hear is the receding footsteps of those knaves. let me I mean, I'll just switch you out of the scene for a moment, just to change things up a little bit. Oh, gosh. Do I need to activate that? Yes, I do. Okay. Anyway, you're still in the alley, actually. What are you going to do? It was. So, so um, um, what did she tell you? She told you that there's the gambling hall from the docks. There is. She gave you kind of two options as two leads. The first one was to look for clues, which you've kind of done. You could also speak to the skeleton crew of the dockhands at the Ertol docks, which is just across the way, not far. A weave through a couple more alleys, and it will get you towards the Tenebrum River, actually, to see if they witnessed anything. Or, of course, there's no, or there is the actual. There's the actual parlour itself, which you haven't got into yet. Was there another option? Oh, so Lizzie mentioned that she wasn't sure who her assailants were, and she did sort of mention casually, oh, they could have been elves. Yeah, and that was it. And um, and the Honey and Wolfsbane may well have been that place, a bright shop. It's sort of like an apothecary. I think Lizzie will know the place, the Honey and Wolfsbane. And well, I mean, uh, you could spend a fortune. I was going to say you could spend a fortune point and create a truth. Maybe they're very partial to. No. I'm gonna give you a contact, Lizzie. So you do know the apothecary, of course. Honey and Wolfsbane is quite a nice place, and you will know the person who runs it. I'll put in chat for you. So I think that was your other option. Mm-hmm. Then there was effectively the gambling parlor itself, which was just out. Yeah. And then there was the thought that maybe elves were involved, and it's known that there are a small cache of elves who have rooms above the Honey and Wolfsbane apothecary. Only because Lizzie said, not Lizzie, Isla said. Isla kind of said, "Oh, I thought there might be elves," but she didn't really specify why. It's not very strong. It, well, well, let's see what you've got. You do. Really? Wow. Probably. If someone has some bandages and can do a leechcraft test, that would be great. Uh, let's have a look. It's a success. Oh gosh. Correct. That's right. Um, wow. Okay. Oh, of course, because you're a runic warrior, aren't you? You've got this extra ability. Um, and that's so binding wounds is the other way to do it. Um, if has anyone has anyone got a bottle of laudanum with them? No. Okay, maybe that's something you need to get. Well, I'm sure Honey and Wolfsbane would have that, so yeah, maybe that's an option for you. I would suggest. Is any are any of you at all skilled in leechcraft? Do you have like no? Just not a thing. There will be somebody in Ertol that is though. Um, right. I mean, there's whiskey and sawbones. Of course, that's the place you could go. Doctor Dalias, who would exchange his services for coin. You kind of know that he's around. He doesn't ask too many questions. He's probably quite busy with the Eternal Night. Anyway, so there's another option for you. You can always spend some coin and go to Whiskey and Sawbones and see Doctor Dalias. So you can indeed have rest when you sleep for 6 consecutive hours. That's good for your peril condition track, actually. That heals sleep, heals peril. Healing damage. You either got to drink laudanum, have your wounds bound, or have magic. It is leechcraft. It's a leechcraft test, and the amount that you go up the ladder depends on your intelligence bonus. That's on page 245. I will. No. No. true. Okay. There's all sorts of things you can be. Stressed, suffer 1d10 peril. Yeah, we've done that one. Horror. Cool. I would probably judge that over time, and an extended period of rest will probably help your wounds, just as you would expect. But that might take time. You would. Dr. Dalius would do it for you. Probably, if you can find him. Yeah. Basically, yeah. Anyway, what do you want to do? Yeah. Crucial moments. Okay. Okay. The Ertol docks, then. You head for the Ertol docks. Let me just see if I can give you a view of the Ertol docks. Have I got anything for you? Maybe it's actually on the actual thing itself. Let's have a look. Where's the docks? Oh, okay. Well, oh, of course you can. It's all there. And in fact, you've got a nice image there as well. It's all there. Yeah, the docks then. Once bustling, but no more, especially given this this point in time. The docks stretch from north to south along the Tenebrum River. Every dock is packed with forgotten, creaking barges and lonely boats, possibly for rent, that can't really travel very far anyway these days. There are small warehouses down here, and a two-story home with lights on in the windows stands in the middle of the docks, which is the dockmaster's house, which is probably what you're going to be heading for. So there's the dockmaster. There are some dock hands you can see still working, which you could approach. Or you could go straight to the dockmaster, or go and speak to some of the dock hands themselves who are still out there working. Okay. Okay, so there's a couple of dock hands then. We've got who sort of look you up and down. The first one has a bit of a glower to them as they look at you. Well, in which case, this is what you meet. It sort of looks back at you with, and yeah. Oh, here we are, Melworth as well. So there's another one here. Yes, there we are. That's this one. So quite a contrast in two characters who are working the docks. Here's the other one for you. Looks a little bit different. The two of them form perhaps an unlikely team, but that's what they are. And I think you're drawn to the second of the two. They look at you suspiciously as you come towards them. What do you want? What's it to you? Make me a test. Let's see how you do. Their initial, well, exactly. Their disposition isn't particularly favourable, really, at the moment. They're not. They seem quite guarded. But Robin, I'm sure Robin will open them up. I guess you're looking at persuasion, perhaps, as the test. But if you want to give me something else, you can. Um, yeah, so guile would be more if you are trying to trick them. Okay. So you can make me a test. That's a pretty good success. That's a pretty good success. So I'm gonna make this a simple intrigue rather than a complex one. So that success improves their disposition from hostile to not quite so hostile, sort of a bit more neutral, a bit more guarded. Well, all right, all right. Our friendship counts for something, I suppose, says Melworth. Well, I suppose so. In fact, to be honest, I could do with a dog. He says, sniffing out criminals who are like hiding out in these boats because people are doing all sorts now. It's not like it was. Confront these criminals who are hiding out. Dog would help, sniff them out. I don't have a dog, and I'm sorry your friend lost a dog. We we saw it, and sort of you could see the other guy, Gilder, sort of squint at Melworth as if to say, "What are you doing?" We did see it. We did see it. Two river rats attacked what we guess might be your friend. Yeah. So, have you heard of the river rats? Maybe you've heard of them. Maybe. Oh, I think there's a good chance of that. Um, if you make me a guile test, um, or a thievery test, either of those would probably tell you something if you knew something about the river rats. Okay. Yeah, the river rats you have heard of. They are a new, very new criminal gang that's just formed. It's one of the sort of consequences of the eternal night is that things are falling apart and people are finding new alliances. And the river rats are exactly that. They are a low-life group of criminals that have got together to try to make a difference and try to keep themselves alive, probably. So they're now a thing. Anyway, two river rats, and you could see sort of Gildas sort of say, "I told you, I told you." And Melworth looks at them and says, "Well, we did see her get knocked out by one of the ruffians, whipped her on the back of the head. We were going to say something, but there wasn't, and you can see Melworth looking up at Gilda. There wasn't time. No, no, the river rats actually are rats. Well, I know. I mean, they didn't think about the name, did they? Yeah, it was a rat people. They got like big pointy nose. Well, it might be the case, um, but they did grab a dog, barking, growling, shoved a muzzle on the dog as well. Actually, no, I don't know. As long as it's not round here, I don't mind. I don't care. Um, uh, well, I tell you where they might be. It might be in Alamene's parlour because once they got the dog, they produced a key. One of them I could see them put, and they unlocked a door in the alley that went into Alamene's parlour. Well, so Gilda, the other one says, "Well, you've already just spent our worth. That must be worth something to you, right? Well, come on, it's worth something. Have you got any money?" He sort of looks at it, slightly disappointed, but he casts a sharp eye at Melworth. That's all we're getting. I told you, says Gilda. I know, but we've got to help. Well, as long as there's no trouble, says Gilda. We don't want any trouble, right? I know, I know. That he's sort of you can see him scuffing Melworth. He's obviously a violent man. He just says, "You've not done us any favours now." He says to Melworth. Melworth looks sort of rather worried and looks back at you and says, "Oh, I hope you find the dog for your friend." Yeah, yeah. He says, "Not done us any favours." Rat on rat. Yeah, it would. It would. Yeah, I would be something. I don't think I, but we don't know you said that, says Gilda. I didn't hear that. Oh, we forget everything. That's our problem. Oh, well, goodbye to Gilda Van Turlis and Melworth Dervin. And they have gone. Simple as simple. So it's a small gang, you think. So they're not at all common. And really up to a few days ago, they weren't even known of. No, it's very new. It's like they seem to have formed literally as the darkness descended. Oh, I see. Yeah. No, well, let's have a look. I mean, they're not really Skaven in the sense that you might get in Warhammer. Let's take a look. So there are different peoples to humans, but no, I don't think you've particularly. Yeah, yeah. So I think that's probably a new one on you. Rat folk, people who are sort of. I mean, there are the Fane. You know of the Fane. You've heard of the Fane. The Fane are more saurian though, rather than rat-like. Um, um, there are the Grendels. You know of the Grendels. They're like a satire-like people. Again, wouldn't really fit. There's the Midfolk, the little people who just seem to eat breakfasts all the time. There are one or two other folks. Maybe the Tattertail. Maybe that's what they're doing. I guess it would be the Tattertail that would say, but they're not. They don't tend to frequent particularly much in the sort of northern province of Lockwood. But you've heard of Tattertail. They're very meticulous, well groomed, and carry a sort of noble bearing. It would surprise you if the Tattertail were involved in this kind of stuff, and indeed, their folk are not particularly common in Lockwood either. I would say probably the closest you're going to get to it is the sort of Tattertail folk. They speak their own language, the chitter chat of the Tattertail. Quite. That is a crushing piece of logic. Yeah. I think gain 10 points in philosophy and and the job's a good one. Yeah, it's important. Oh, there's almost certainly a profession that's somewhat similar here. Anyway, so that's what you've got. Okay. Okay. You're going to head there. Yeah, so there was it was the door down the alley that you went down. But that isn't the main entrance to the parlour, obviously. Yes. You could. He didn't seem to mention that. He didn't really mention anything in a way. Okay. Do we take our next scene as back to Alaman's parlour? Okay. Okay. Let me take you there. You're back. You're back to the alley. I can literally put you back there if you want. And just to remind you what it's like. And so you had like a door here at the back and somewhere towards the front, which is up this way somewhere. So around the other side of the alley is the sort of main way into the parlour. But you're back in the alley where you started. Perhaps a bit more blood on the floor. What do you want to do? Knock on the door? Bust it open? It is once again locked, and it seems to be that it's perennially locked. No. Yeah. So you're shouting outside the door. Okay. All right. Okay. The kitchen door then. Okay. The door swings open, and there is the cook is there again. She says, "Whoa! Yeah. Yeah. What? Huh? Ooh." Behind the cook, you can see that there are other kitchen staff in there, bustling about to and fro the kitchen. Then you hear people calling out orders, clearly from the parlour itself. Plates and dishes are being carried around. In the background, you can see she's peering down at your coins. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Oh, well, make me a guile test then, I guess. Right. Okay. Let's just see how that goes. I'm going to make it an opposed test with his resolve, I suppose. Really? Okay. I'm going to just roll a d100. Let's just see what I get. I've got an idea what his chance is. Okay. I'm gonna try and hold the line here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend a coin. And I'm going to do that roll again because I can do that, which sadly gives you a coin, which I'm happy about. So when you do that, you have to take the second result, which is so it's a very bad failure, and now it's just a bad failure. Sure. And he sort of clatters out. He sort of eyes you all up suspiciously. He probably has still got his cleaver in his hand. I mean, is it actually attached to his hand, or is it part of his hand? You don't know. But he sort of goes off to a glinting, sort of, I don't know, somewhere over here, and peering, giving you an opportunity, thanks to your guile, to actually be able to sort of, well, all right. I'm going to change. I'm going to change the scene, and I'm going to give you just a complete overview. Actually, I haven't sort of fog of ward this particular place at all. So I'm going to just give you a scene of the parlour, and you'll be able to see where it is you are. Now, I say that it might be that. Can you see that, or do I need to change it? I know why. It's the usual token vision thing. Let me just make that available to you. And in fact, I'm going to zoom it in a little bit for you. Okay, here we go. So you're over here. You've just come in through the kitchen door, right? A5. And you can see this scene here in front of you is a bustling kitchen full of kitchen staff. Yeah, so there's a waiter. It's kind of like a waiting staff person who comes up to you and says, "Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. What? Well, they'll in the main hall. Can you not use the front door? It is dark, but I mean, there's no excuse. Just get out of the kitchen. Get out." And he's harried. He doesn't want to talk, and so he sort of just does this, and then grabs a tray, and probably kicks the door open and kind of leads the way. But he's not interested. He's trying to serve somebody, which takes you into effectively the sort of main gambling hall. And let me describe the scene to you that you have in front of you here. So you kind of arrive through the kitchen door. It's a smoky room, red carpet, apparently. Is that right? No, that's the foyer. You're actually in the main room, aren't you? There's a variety of games being played on each of these tables. Sort of gambling is full on. People crowd around the tables. Cards, dice, other games of chance. You can see people sort of taking plates of food as they're passed around. There's cheering, groaning in defeat, the usual stuff. There's a tan-skinned sort of woman in a red vest strumming a lute on a stage that stands behind a long wooden bar, which you can probably see. And servers, as I say, are moving about the room. And on the west wall, a gold closet door stands next to a doorway blocked by a thick curtain, which is just here. A burly older man with very dark skin and a bald head stands in front of the curtain. His left hand is wrapped in a blood-soaked bandage. And there's a bar. There's none visible in this room. You could do that. It's quite noisy in here. Um, maybe. Yeah. Well, the guy looks at you when you do that. You just say, "What are you doing?" Well, no, well, what what you haven't lost is a table. Get to a table and start spending some money. That's why we're here. Go on, off you go. Nothing, and you can see it's fresh. The wound is fresh. It's been bandaged slightly inexpertly. Not that any of you have got leechcraft to know. Um, Make me an insight test. Um, yeah, so I succeed, but it's an opposed roll, and I actually managed to get lower than you, which is quite remarkable. I, I think I think I am gonna spend a coin. I'm going crazy because I can, and we're heading towards the session end, so I'm gonna just see if I can improve on that. So he looks blankly at you and says, "Why are you still here? Go on, off you go. Off you go. Get go. Uh, Jenna, these people need a table." And he sort of looks suspiciously at the four of you. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So you call for Rufus, and you know your dulcet tones reverberate around the gambling hall fairly successfully. And in fact, probably one or two people look up from their tables, even from the sort of great successes or the tragic losses that they're currently suffering or experiencing. And there's you cause a bit of a not a silence, but a ripple in the room with your calling. But there is no reply. I will, however, ask. Well, no, what else? So you're wondering about. I think, yeah, I will take a perception test from you. You're sort of wandering about a little bit. I'm going to suggest this is. I'm going to say this is hard though. I'm going to make this a hard test. It's an awareness. Sorry, yeah. You've got some coins. You've got some coins. Yep. You haven't got a feat or something, a talent, though, have you? Okay. Oh, it's close. It's hard. It's really difficult, actually. You can't flip to succeed there. It doesn't help. Yeah, you should do, because I'll spend them back. It's fine. Oh, okay. Okay. So there's just a hubbub of people. Um, you're being encouraged as you wander around calling for a book and say, Rufus might be at a table, mate. Do you want to come sit here? Opening stash. Have you got any gold? Start playing. You, sir. Somebody bravely comes up to Ulrich and looks you up and down rather nervously and says, you come to play? Uh, well, that's interesting. So it's an interesting tack. Maybe you make a persuasion test. Meanwhile, well, in fact, if you've got that, that might be better. Yeah. Oh, could be. Yeah. 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 And Ulrich, are you playing? You're being asked by one of the attendants in the gambling hall, who's probably looked you up and down and thought, this is trouble. Okay, he says, "Oh, of course," and you are guided, not quite escorted, but guided to the bar, where a drink is served for you. How is that? How was that roll? Was a success? Okay. Well, I think that the person will go, "A dog," you say. Oh well. Oh. Is that the one through there? And points to this door here. Well, I can hear it. I heard it a minute ago. Is that your? And this is so. Ulrich's at the bar drinking, which we'll come to in a moment. And you head towards that door. It's not the door that you was. It's not the gilded door. It's kind of like the other door. Yeah. That door is. I think it's locked. It's locked. If you try the door, you think about just going in and going. It's just locked. It's got a simple lock. No, nothing. Oh, okay. In which case, you can make a perception test, but this time it's easy. Okay. Wow. You can hear possibly the whimpering of a small child. Beyond the door. For this lock, yes. It's a crude mechanical lock. And as you're doing that, Ulrich, you're served a drink in the main hall, the gambling hall. And he says, "Welcome, sir. You come to make a large amount of money in a very, very short time." The barman says to you, with a big smile on his face. Well, it's never enough. That's what I say, sir. It's never enough. Certainly not just working here, I can tell you. But anyway, drink up, enjoy your drink, and good luck to you, sir. I hope you win big. Seems very friendly. Just it's got no edge to him. Okay, and you can give me a. Would it be a thievery test for you? Um, I'm actually gonna say it's easy because you it's not a very complex lock. It says there's a click, and the door is no longer locked. Uh, you don't. You don't. Uh, what? Why is that? Is there something wrong with you? Oh, the lovely lady here. The lovely lady here gets sad without a drink. And you can see a couple of the tables turn around and go, oh, oh. Tea, barman. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to. It's not really intimidating. You could do that. Yeah, you could do that. You are. So people don't seem to particularly notice the doors even open. They're focusing on the sort of delectable Lizzie Borden and her sort of incapacity for alcohol, and that seems to be much more interesting. And you slip into the room. Um, the room itself is there are shelves built into the walls. They hold crates marked dice, cards, glasses, plates. It's a storage place, really. High-pitched whines come from a terrier imprisoned in a steel cage in the center of the floor. It's secured with a rope. The cage is secured with a rope, so it's not so much locked. It's just been tied with a bit of rope. Um, it absolutely isn't. This terrier is not Rufus. You know Rufus very well. The dog's growling slightly nervously at you as you sort of approach and peer at it. It looks quite well. Make me or if anyone is in the room, which I can be any of you really probably now, possibly even Lizzie actually. The test is handling. Handling is your riding and management of wagons and animals and so on. So if anyone can make me a handling test. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, exactly. It takes a bit of a shine to you, calms itself. It's sort of barks a little bit, making a bit of noise. And she sort of starts nuzzling the rope around her cage. You free the dog. Okay. Well, you've made your roll. The dog is sort of comes up to you and places its paws on your legs, and seems quite taken with you. Those of you in the room can make me an easy awareness test to see what else you can find in the room. Let's take a look at what we've got here. Oh yeah. Well, you're sorted with the dog, yeah. Lizzie, that's a success. And Fiala, you've got a success. You can see that under the cage, or sort of wedged under the cage, there is what appears to be, is it correspondence, a letter or something? And as you pull it out, it looks to be written. As you sort of, it is indeed looks like it's a piece of correspondence. And it looks a little bit unusual. It's written at what appears to be in sort of like a symbolic code or something. It's not written in just standard ALD, which is what you would know as the tongue of your land. You don't think it's you think it's like in ALD, but it's been codified in some kind of way. But I would take either, what would that be? I would say either it's an occultism test, or possibly insight. As you sort of try and dissemble what it's saying. Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh, it should say. No, that's a good point. It's a very good point. I think it's got down to your class a little bit. You're low born. There's a chance that you're not literate, actually. No, maybe you just look at it and think, whoa, it's probably them letters there. I don't think so, actually. I think you're right, low lives. No, nobody's respectable here. You give me an insight test and see if you can do any dissembling. Okay. And as you stand in the warehouse, or the sort of storeroom inside the gambling establishment, with the dog and the letter, we'll cast a veil on the proceedings this evening, and we'll pick it up again from this place. To do things properly, I therefore would welcome you to consider whether you have called upon your weakness or your inner turmoil, whatever it's called. And if you have, you'll gain 5 reward points for each, and 5 for turning up. And you can add that to your tally. And if you think you've called on one or other of your inner strength or your despairing turmoil or whatever it is, you can then call it out. Call it out. Call it out now. Forever hold your tongue. Oh, it's damn straight you did. Yeah. But you're 5 in. You're at least 10 and possibly more if you can. Yeah, that's in. You get 5 for that. Yeah. I'll give you the 5. Any more? Any more for any more? Anybody? No, that's fine. Beginning of next session, we will reflect on those reward points, and probably when we're out of the scene during the session, sometime you'll be able to perhaps spend a few on one of your increases on your profession, so you can have a think about what you might like that to be. It's usually 10 apiece. I'm going to close these down. Thank you very much for playing, and thank you to those of you who have been watching. That concludes our session for this time. We will be back for more in Ertol, and indeed the gambling hall by the docks, and we will see what happens to our illustrious players. And so, catch you next time, everyone. And thank you very much.